What's going on, guys? My name is Mark. You're watching The Big Critique. I've got a friend. Let's talk about time and how you value yours. Okay, so in this video, I'll be very direct. I want to give you an idea of how I think that we should value time for ourselves and teach next of kin how to value time. I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick of a conversation I had with my coworker. My coworker had an interaction with his teenage daughter. My coworker is in his mid-40s, and his teenage daughter has a job making $15 an hour delivering Chinese food. He had a conversation with her where he was explaining to her, hey, listen, you don't need to make the few bucks a week. I give you money. Why aren't you going to school? And he was explaining to me that it was really bothering him that she was doing this job because she was enjoying the instant gratification of making money versus getting, putting more effort into her education. So I said to him, well, what do you have against it? And he was just like, well, I don't feel like she needs to be working these nonsense jobs. I feel like she needs to be focusing on school. I'm sure a lot of parents would feel the exact same way. So I said to him, hey, listen, I can understand both perspectives. So this is a solution that I would come up for this problem. So you want to explain to your daughter, like, hey, or son or whoever, like, hey, I get that you're doing this right now, but what you don't understand is that this is pennies compared to what you'll need to make as an adult. So don't worry about making that right now. But a child's not going to care for that argument. They're going to see that they're making money and they're going to want it their way. A lot of the time. So what you need to explain to them is how to value their time so that money gets quantified differently. So I said to him, this is what I would do if I were you. I would come to your child at the end of the month and say, hey, how much did you make this month? Let's call it $800 for part-time work, right? Okay, so here are my bills. Now, I live in New York City, house, car, all that stuff, whatever. Immediate bills, let's call it $6,000 a month. To live on food, clothes, miscellaneous expenses, call it $10,000 a month. That's $2,500 a week, right? So I would say, listen, you need about $2,500 a week to live, like to practically live, right? In this city, at least. How would you do that with the money you have right now? Well, it's obvious you can't. So what do you need to do? The issue is not the amount of money you're making, it's the way that you're valuing your time. That's the issue. So I told my coworker, you give your daughter two options. My advice, right? What I would do if I was him. I would say, okay, great. You enjoy having this job, you like making this money? Great, keep going. But while you're there, and no, I'm not gonna say to focus more on school, while you're there, you should be learning the ins and outs of their operation. You should try to find out how much they're making per month, what their profit margins are like. You should try to figure out if there's any daily operational errors or faults that they have that maybe you could help to solve or whatever. And this is in two attempts. This is in the attempt to A, show that you're more valuable than just $15 an hour, and B, this is to learn how business works so that if your kid is dead set on having this job, well then you should teach them to utilize their time wisely and not just go in to collect a paycheck. You see, this all comes down to one thing, and it's not just teenagers in high school that are trying to get side jobs. It's everywhere. It's in this country and in this world. What we do is we emphasize on making a salary. I'm going to college, I want to be a lawyer, make $150K a year, $100,000 a year, whatever the case may be. Cool, that's nice. But here's the thing, when things like AI or software development in general come to a point where people are developing things that make your job antiquated, so you just went to law school and have over $100,000 in loans for your six-figure salary, but when the owner of the company sees the software that's doing exactly what you're doing, maybe even more, and way less room for error because it's a robot, it's not human, your salary is out. So the issue isn't AI. The issue isn't that your kid is making 15 an hour. The issue is that we are not understanding why we are getting paid the salaries we're getting paid. That is the issue. You see? So teach your kid to make more use of their time. They don't want to go to school, no problem. A lot of people won't. In the future, a lot less people will graduate college. College is becoming increasingly unaffordable and increasingly less effective. Vocational and trade schools are becoming increasingly more effective. Trade unions are becoming increasingly more effective. Building your own portfolio and being your own boss or being an independent contractor or a freelancer is becoming increasingly more effective. And why is this? Well, because these things are things that are putting actual value on the services you can provide. Therefore, you get to charge more money for your time. Do you understand? I hope you guys understand this. I truly do. Because this is a large problem in almost any work situation. People are so concerned with the amount of money that they're making, but what they're not understanding is that they're getting paid these salaries for a reason. They're getting paid these salaries. Sure, maybe you went to college and got a degree and now you're an accountant. So you got the market rating of an accountant. But why is that the market rate? Well, that's the market rating of an accountant because somebody found enough value in somebody else or in a number of people to say, all right, fine, yes, this is what they're worth to me for my business. But if you're going to school with the perspective of, yeah, I'm going to go to school and be an accountant, but you're a shitty accountant, why the fuck is anybody going to pay you 6 figures? They're not going to. You're not going to be able to sustain a job. Why? Because there's no value there. Everybody needs to quantify their time with value. And once you start to do this, both in a professional and in a personal setting, you're going to stop hanging out with people that don't bring you some sort of a value or enjoyment. You're going to stop allocating time to doing dumb things. You'll start to pay a few extra bucks to get your laundry done because it'll cut the fat on doing dumb tasks. Why would you take 3 hours out of your life? But it'll save you so much money to not get your laundry done. Or will it though? Will it? New York City, I get my laundry done, much like a lot of people that I know, and it costs a few extra bucks literally, and I give it in and I bring it back home. And it's folded. That saves me a few hours a week, if not more than a few, depending on how many times a week I do laundry. So you see, we really need to understand the value of time, not get embarrassed by how you quantify yours by any means. People should not be threatened by this. Everybody should do this. I think we would live a much happier life if people started to quantify their time in a way where not only they think they're more valuable, but they are more valuable because the market is willing to pay for it. Guys, my name is Mark. This has been a big critique on time and how we value hours. Goodbye.